Salah ad-Din al-Ayubi, the great liberator. Early life. Yusuf ibn Ayyub, known to history as Salah ad-Din al-Ayubi, was born in 1137 CE 532 AH in the city of Tikrit, which was part of the larger region of Iraq. The city of Tikrit had a long history, having been conquered by Muslims in 637 CE during the reign of Umar ibn al-Khattab. After Salah ad-Din's birth, his family went through a significant upheaval. His father, Najm ad-Din Ayyub, along with his paternal uncle Asad ad-Din Shirkuh and their families, left Tikrit. They sought refuge in the city of Mosul, where they became guests of the governor of Mosul, Imad ad-Din Zangi, a Turkic nobleman. Imad ad-Din Zangi was an influential figure, having consolidated power in Syria and Iraq after the civil war between the heirs of the Seljuk Empire. His military achievements included capturing the fortress of Edessa, a strategic Crusader stronghold. Zangi's son, Noor ad-Din Zangi, would also rise to prominence, further expanding their control over regions like Baalbek and Damascus. Salah ad-Din's family developed strong ties with the Zangi family. Salah ad-Din spent much of his early years in Baalbek, a city entrusted to Najm ad-Din Ayyub by Noor ad-Din Zangi. During this time, Salah ad-Din studied both Islamic knowledge and the art of war, skills that would serve him well in his future endeavors. As a young man, Salah ad-Din was keenly interested in Islamic studies. According to Dr. Ali M. Salabai's Salah ad-Din al-Ayubi, the establishment of the Ayyubid state, Salah ad-Din not only memorized the Quran but also delved into the study of fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, and hadith sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. His dedication to learning and his intellectual pursuits were further confirmed by the British historian Stanley Lanepool, who noted that Salah ad-Din enjoyed theology and Islamic legal discussions, often seeking to understand and apply the Sharia Islamic law in the most accurate manner. In 1150 CE 546 AH, Salah ad-Din began to serve his paternal uncle, Asad ad-Din Shirkuh, who was a close companion of Noor ad-Din Zangi. Noor ad-Din, recognizing Salah ad-Din's wisdom and intellect, took him under his wing. Salah ad-Din served as Noor ad-Din's private secretary, acting as a liaison between Noor ad-Din and his senior commanders, including his uncle Asad ad-Din. This period of service allowed Salah ad-Din to learn from some of the most prominent and devout leaders of his time. Noor ad-Din Zangi, in particular, was known for his unshakable faith, his devotion to the Sharia, and his generosity toward the poor. Despite his advisors urging him to use funds earmarked for charity for military campaigns, Noor ad-Din remained steadfast in his belief that the poor had a rightful claim to public resources. Salah ad-Din excelled under the guidance of such role models, even being appointed as the chief of police in Damascus by Noor ad-Din. His tenure was marked by successful efforts to rid the city of crime, further enhancing his reputation as a capable and trustworthy leader. However, Salah ad-Din's next significant challenge came when Noor ad-Din ordered him to join a military campaign in Egypt. At first, Salah ad-Din was reluctant. According to his counsel, Qadi Bahauddin ibn Shaddad, Salah ad-Din felt he was being dragged into the campaign against his will. He feared he might lose his life in battle and expressed a preference for continuing his studies of Islamic knowledge. At the time, Egypt was in a state of turmoil, with internal rebellions and power struggles. The Crusaders, led by King Amalrik of Jerusalem, were also actively seeking to control the region. The governor of Upper Egypt, Shawir ibn Mujair as-Sadi, had rebelled against the ruling Fatimid Caliphate and sought help from Noor ad-Din. Shawir promised an annual tribute in exchange for military support. At the same time, the Crusaders were exerting pressure on Egypt, and some of the Fatimid generals were even aligning with the Crusaders. In response, Noor ad-Din sent Asad ad-Din Shirkuh and Salah ad-Din to support Shawir against the Crusader-backed Fatimid generals. The first campaign was successful, but Shawir betrayed his benefactors by aligning with King Amalrik, prompting Salah ad-Din and Asad ad-Din to return to Syria. Salah ad-Din's next significant campaign in Egypt took place in 1166 CE 562 AH, where he and his uncle engaged in battle against the Crusader forces. After a fierce confrontation, Salah ad-Din successfully resisted a siege by Crusader and Byzantine forces in Alexandria. The two sides eventually reached a truce, but the agreement broke down when King Amalrik sought to gain control of Egypt once more. Salah ad-Din and his uncle returned to Egypt and, this time, were able to drive the Crusaders out without any significant conflict. With the situation in Egypt stabilized, Salah ad-Din was appointed as the vizier head of government of the Fatimid Caliphate. In this role, He set aside the pleasures of the world, renouncing indulgence and focusing solely on his duties. After the death of the Fatimid Caliph, al-Adid, Salah ad-Din took steps to reintegrate Egypt into the larger Abbasid Caliphate, aligning it with the Sunni Muslim world. After the death of Noor ad-Din in 1173 CE 569 AH, Salah ad-Din was faced with internal conflicts within the Muslim world. Noor ad-Din's young son, al-Malik as-Salih Ismail, assumed control of the Zangi Empire, but the political factions in Damascus, Aleppo, and other regions sought their own advantage. Salah ad-Din, disturbed by the division and eager to unite the Muslim lands, responded by conquering key cities such as Homs, Hama, and Aleppo. Through a series of successful military campaigns and diplomatic maneuvers, Salah ad-Din was able to unite much of the Muslim world, thereby laying the foundation for the Ayyubid Empire. Salah ad-Din's reign would mark a new era for the Muslim world, characterized by a sense of unity and resistance against external threats like the Crusaders. His diplomatic acumen and military prowess allowed him to consolidate power, ultimately creating a formidable empire that stretched from Egypt to Syria. His legacy would live on through his leadership and his efforts to reclaim Jerusalem from the Crusaders in the famous Battle of Hattin, solidifying his place as one of the most revered figures in Islamic history.